Aznavour leads here. For other uses of Aznavour, see Aznavour. Shahnour Varinag Aznavourian, better known by his stage name Charles Aznavour, is a French and Armenian singer, songwriter, actor, public activist and diplomat. Aznavour is known for his unique tenor voice, clear and ringing in its upper reaches, with gravelly and profound low notes. He has appeared in more than 60 movies, composed about 1,000 songs, and sold well over 100 million records. He is one of France's most popular and enduring singers. He has been dubbed France's Frank Sinatra, while music critic Stephen Holden has described Aznavour as French pop deity. He is also arguably the most famous Armenian of his time. In 1998, Aznavour was named Entertainer of the Century by CNN and users of Time Online from around the globe. He was recognized as the century's outstanding performer, with nearly 18% of the total vote, edging out Elvis Presley and Bob Dylan. He has sung for presidents, popes and royalty, as well as at humanitarian events. In response to the 1988 Armenian earthquake, he founded the charitable organization Aznavour for Armenia along with his longtime friend impresario Levin San. In 2009, he was appointed Ambassador of Armenia to Switzerland, as well as Armenia's permanent delegate to the United Nations at Geneva. He started his most recent tour in 2014. Life and career. Background: Aznavour was born with the name Shahnour Varinag Aznavourian in Saint-Germain-des-Prés, copyright S, Paris, to Armenian immigrants Michael Aznavourian and Nar Bagdasarian, an Armenian genocide survivor from Izmir. His father spent his youth in Tbilisi, where his family had moved for work. Later, after moving to France, Michael Aznavourian sang in restaurants before establishing his own Caucasian restaurant called Le Caucase. Misok Manouchian, a leader of French resistance who was executed by the Nazis in 1944, had been a frequent guest at the Aznavourians' home, and Aznavourians had supported Misak and his wife Melina copyright when they were in hiding. Together with his wife, who was an actress, Michael introduced Charles to the world of theatre at an early age. Charles dropped out of school at the age of 9, already aspiring to the life of an artist. He began to perform at this time, and soon took the stage name Aznavour. His big break came in 1946 when the singer of Permil Dithpayev heard him sing and arranged to take him with her on tour in France and to the United States. Music: sometimes described as France's Frank Sinatra, Aznavour sings frequently about love. He has written musicals and about 1,000 songs, and made more than 100 records. Aznavour's voice is shaded towards the tenor range, but possesses the low range and coloration more typical of a baritone, contributing to his unique sound. Aznavour speaks and sings in many languages, which has helped him perform at Carnegie Hall, in the USA, and other major venues around the world. He also recorded at least one song from the 18th-century Armenian poet Siat Nova, and a popular song, Imyer in Armenian. Kakis Tristvanais, sung in French, Italian, Spanish, English, and German, is one of Aznavour's most famous multilingual songs. In 1974, Aznavour became a major success in the United Kingdom, where his song She went to #1 in the charts. His other well-known song in the UK was Dance in the Old-Fashioned Way. Artists who have recorded his songs and collaborated with Aznavour include Permil Dithpayev, Frederick Astaire, Frank Sinatra, Andrea Bocelli, Bing Crosby, Ray Charles, Bob Dylan, Liza Minnelli, Elton John, Dalida, Serge Gainsbourg, Josh Groban, Petula Clark, Tom Jones, Shirley Bassey, Jose Copyright Carreras, Laura Pausini, Nana Mouskouri and Julio Iglesias. Fellow French pop legend Mara Mathieu has sung and recorded with Aznavour on numerous occasions. In 1974, Jack Jones recorded an entire album of Aznavour compositions entitled Write Me a Love Song, Charlie, re-released on CD in 2006. Aznavour and Italian tenor Luciano Pavarotti sang Garnodzaria Ave Maria together. He performed with famed Russian cellist and friend Mstislav Rostropovich to inaugurate the French presidency of the European Union in 1995. Elvis Costello recorded She for the film Notting Hill. One of Aznavour's greatest friends and collaborators from the music industry is legendary Spanish operatic tenor Plácido Domingo, who often performs his hits, most notably a solo studio recording of Les Bateaux Sont Partis in 1985 and duet versions of the song in French and Spanish in 2008, as well as multiple live renditions Aznavour's Ave Maria. In 1994, Aznavour performed with Domingo and Norwegian soprano Sissel Kyrkjebø at Domingo's third annual Christmas in Vienna concert. The three singers performed a variety of carols, medleys, and duets, and the concert was televised throughout the world, as well as released on a CD internationally. At the start of autumn in 2006, Aznavour initiated his farewell tour, performing in the US and Canada, and earning very positive reviews. Aznavour started 2007 with concerts all over Japan and Asia. The second half of 2007 saw Aznavour return to Paris for over 20 shows at the Palais des Congrès in Paris, followed by more touring in Belgium, the Netherlands, and the rest of France. Aznavour had repeatedly stated that this farewell tour, health permitting, would likely last beyond 2010. However, as of December 2013, Charles Aznavour has continued performing all throughout the year, the world over. At 90, Aznavour is in excellent health, although admittedly 60 years on stage have made him a little hard of hearing. He still sings in multiple languages and without persistent use of teleprompters, but typically sticks to just 2 or 3 during most concerts. On September 30, 2006, Aznavour performed a major concert in Yerevan, the capital of Armenia, to start off the cultural season Arma copyright Nîmes Mon Ami in France. Armenian President Robert Kosharian and French President Jacques Chirac, at the time on an official visit to Armenia, were in front-row attendance. In 2006, 82-year-old Aznavour traveled to Cuba, where he, together with ʃaʁl de Copyright S, recorded his new album Kolomavai, presented at Aznavour's Moscow concert in April 2007. Later, in July 2007, Aznavour was invited to perform at the Vials Charus Festival. Forever Cool, an album from Capital EMI, features Aznavour singing a new duet of Everybody Loved Somebody Sometime with the voice of the late Dean Martin. Aznavour finished a tour of Portugal in February 2008. On January 18, 2008, he participated as guest vocalist with the contestants of the French reality show Star Academy and sang his famous Eminas Moi with contestant Ja Copyright Ra Copyright Nai Chapran. Throughout the spring of 2008, Aznavour toured South America, holding a multitude of concerts in Argentina, Brazil, Chile and Uruguay. Summer saw him in Quebec, and a return to Latin America followed in autumn. An admirer of Quebec, where he played in Montreal cabarets before becoming famous, he has helped the career of Quay Copyright Bar Copyright Coy's singer-songwriter Linda Lee May in France, and has a house in Montreal. On July 5, 2008, he was invested as an honorary officer of the Order of Canada and performed the following day on the Plains of Abraham as a feature of the celebration of the 400th anniversary of the founding of Quebec City. In 2008, an album of duets, Duos, was released. It is a collaborative effort featuring Aznavour and his greatest friends and partners from his long career in the music industry, including Copyright Line Dion, Sting, Laura Pausini, Josh Groban, Paul Anka, Plácido Domingo, and many others. It was released on various dates in December 2008 across the world. His next album, Charles Aznavour and the Clayton Hamilton Jazz Orchestra, is a continuation in the same vein as his hit album Jazz Aznavour released in 1998, involving new arrangements on his classic songs with the jazz orchestra and other guest jazz artists. It was released on November 27, 2009. Aznavour and famed Senegalese singer Youssou N'Dour, with the collaboration of over 40 of France's most celebrated singers and musicians, recorded a music video Band-Aid in the aftermath of the catastrophic 2010 Haiti earthquake, titled Un geste pour Haute Copyright Rai. In 2009, Aznavour also toured across America. The tour, named Aznavour en Liberté Copyright, started in late April 2009 with a wave of concerts across the United States and Canada, took him across Latin America in the autumn, as well as the USA once again. In August 2011 Aznavour released a new album, Aznavour Toujours, featuring 11 new songs, and ʃaʁl, a French reworking of his greatest international hit, ʃaʁl. Following the release of Aznavour Toujours, 87-years-old Aznavour began a tour across France and Europe, named Charles Aznavour Entertainment Copyright, which started with 21 concerts in the Olympia Theatre in Paris. On December 12, 2011 he gave a concert in Moscow State Kremlin Palace that attracted a capacity crowd. The concert was followed by standing ovation which continued for about 15 minutes. In 2012, Aznavour embarked on a new North American leg of his Entertainment Copyright tour, visiting Quake Copyright Beck and the Gibson Amphitheater in Los Angeles, the third largest such venue in California, for multiple shows. The shows in New York were cancelled following a contract dispute. On August 16, 2012 Aznavour performed in his father's birthplace Okhotsk in Georgia. Part of the concert was broadcast on Georgian television. On October 25, 2013 Aznavour performed in London for the first time in 25 years at the Royal Albert Hall. Demand was so high that a second concert at the Royal Albert Hall has been scheduled for June 2014. In November 2013, Aznavour appeared with a Kainomni in a concert, dedicated to peace, at the Nokia Arena in Tel Aviv. The audience, including Israeli President Shimon Peres, sang along. In December 2013 Aznavour gave 2 concerts in the Netherlands at the Heineken Music Hall in Amsterdam. Film. C. Filmography. Aznavour has had a long and varied parallel career as an actor, appearing in over 60 films. In 1960 Aznavour starred in Frana Section War Truffaut's Tirer sur le pianiste, playing a character called a Permilde Aznavourian. He also put in a critically acclaimed performance in the 1974 movie And Then There Were None. Aznavour had an important supporting role in 1979's The Tin Drum, winner of the Academy Award for Best Foreign Language Film in 1980. Aznavour starred in the 2002 movie Ararat playing Edward Soroyan, a movie director. Armenia and abroad. Since the 1988 Armenian earthquake, Aznavour has been helping the country through his charity, Aznavour for Armenia. Together with his brother-in-law and co-author Georges Garvarants he wrote the song Portoy Arma Copyright Nai, which was performed by a group of famous French artists and topped the charts for 18 weeks. There is a square named after him in central Yerevan on Abovians Street, and a statue erected in Gyumri, which saw the most lives lost in the earthquake. In 1995 Aznavour was appointed an ambassador and permanent delegate of Armenia to UNESCO. Aznavour is a member of the Armenia Fund International Board of Trustees. The organization has rendered more than $150 million in humanitarian aid and infrastructure development assistance to Armenia since 1992. He was appointed as officer of the La Copyright Guild d'Honneur in 1997. In the 1984 version of Die Fledermaus, he appears and performs as one of Prince Orlovsky's guests. This version stars Kiri Te Kanawa and was directed by Placido Domingo in the Royal Opera House at Covent Garden. In 2004 Aznavour received the title of National Hero of Armenia, Armenia's highest award. On December 26, 2008, President of Armenia Selzh Sergian signed a presidential decree for granting citizenship for the Republic of Armenia to Aznavour, whom he called a prominent singer and public figure, and a hero of the Armenian people. Personal life and cultural impact. Aznavour has been married 3 times, to Michaeline Rugel, Evelyn Plezis and Ola Thorsell. 6 children were produced by these marriages, Tsar Copyright Dar, Charles, Patrick, Kasia, Misha and Nicholas. In 1990, he offered insights into his life to writer-director Michael Feeney-Collin in the TV series My Riviera, which was filmed at and around Aznavour's home in Port Grimaud, in the south of France. He currently resides in St-Sulpice, Vaud, Switzerland. His musicality and fame abroad is present in many other areas of pop culture. Aznavour's name was used as the basis for the name of the character Charles Aznavour by Yoshiyuki Tomino in his 1979 mecha anime series, Mobile Suit Gundam. His song Passe K to Croix was sampled by hip-hop producer Dr. Dre for the song, What's the Difference?, from his album 2001. He is mentioned in the psychedelic verse song Sister Europe. He has often joked about his physicality, the most infamous feature of which is his limited height. He stands only 160 cm tall, and Aznavour has made this a source of self-deprecating humor over the years. Politics. Aznavour has been increasingly involved in French, Armenian and international politics as his career has progressed. During the 2002 French presidential elections, when socially conservative nationalist Jean-Marie Le Pen of the National Front made it into the runoff election, facing incumbent Jacques Chirac, Aznavour signed the Vive la France petition, and called on all French to sing the Marseillaise in protest. Chirac, a personal friend of Aznavour's, ended up winning in a landslide, carrying over 82% of the vote. He has written a song about the Armenian genocide, titled Ils sont tombés copyright S. He has also campaigned fervently for international copyright law reform. In November 2005 he met with President of the European Commission José Copyright Manuel Barroso on the issue of the review of term of protection for performers and producers in the EU, advocating an extension of the EU's term of protection from the current 50 years to the United States law allowing 95 years, saying, end term of protection, artists and record companies are of the same mind. Extension of term of protection would be good for European culture, positive for the European economy and would put an end to the current discrimination with the US. He has also notably butted heads with French politician Christine Boutin over her defense of a global license flat fee authorization for sharing of copyrighted files over the Internet, claiming that the license would eliminate creativity. In May 2009 the French Senate approved one of the strictest Internet anti-piracy bills ever with a landslide 189-14 vote. Aznavour was a vocal proponent of the measure and considered it a rousing victory. If the youth can't make a living through creative work, they will do something else and the artistic world will be dealt a blow. There will be no more songs, no more books, nothing at all. So we had to fight. Along with holding the mostly ceremonial title of French ambassador at large to Armenia, Aznavour agreed to hold the position of Ambassador of Armenia to Switzerland on February 12, 2009. First I hesitated, as it is not an easy task. Then I thought that what is important for Armenia is important for us. I have accepted the proposal with love, happiness and feeling of deep dignity. Awards and recognition. 1963, 1971 and 1980 Euro Edison Awards. 1971 a Euro Golden Lion Honorary Award at the Venice Film Festival for the Italian version of the song Mor d'Irma, 1995 a Euro Large Medal of the French Academy, 1995 a Euro Ambassador of Goodwill and Permanent Delegate of Armenia to UNESCO, 1996 a Euro Induction into the Songwriters Hall of Fame, 1997 a Euro French Victoire Award for Male Artist of the Year, 1997 a Euro Honorary Car Copyright Tsar Award. 1997 a Euro Officer of the Legion d'Honneur, 2004 a Euro National Hero of Armenia, 2006 a Euro Honorary Prize at 30th Cairo Film Festival, 2008 a Euro Honorary Officer of the Order of Canada, 2008 a Euro Citizenship of the Republic of Armenia, 2009 a Euro MIDEM Lifetime Achievement Award, 2009 a Euro Grigor Lusavric Award of Nagorno-Karabakh Republic, 2009 a Euro Officer of the National Order of Quebec, 2010 a Euro Honorary Order for contributing to strengthening cultural relations between Russia and France, 2014 a Euro Special Prize named after Ruben Mamoulian of the Hague National Film Awards in Armenia for his great contribution to world cinema. Discography. Filmography, La Guerre des Gosses a Euro Extra, a Ducar Copyright Ray a Euro Le Duetiste, Intras dans la Danse, Une Gosse Census a Euro Le Chanteur, Paris Music Hall a Euro Charles, La Tartie contre les Mers a Euro Hut Event, Les Dragos a Euro Joseph Bouvier, Pourquoi vines de si tard? A Euro on Danseur, O. Que Copyright Mambo a Euro on Spectacle Cabaret, Le Testament d'Orpha Copyright a Euro The Curious Man Union Taxi Port Tobruk a Euro Samuel Goldman, Tomorrow is My Turn a Euro Roger, Tirasuela pianiste Euro Charlie Kola Permil de Aznaurian, Gosta Paris, Les Lions sont la cent car copyright SA Euro Charles, Unconvived de Marilla, Isame di Guide Euro Tempo di Roma Euro Marcello, Horace 62 FR, a Euro Horace Fabiani, Le Bible et les Dix Commandments a Euro Denis Mai, Les Quat de var Copyright Rita. Copyright SA Euro Charles, Les Vierges a Euro Berthet, Churches l'Idole a Euro Aznavour, Le Rat Dharma Copyright Rick a Euro Charles, Thomas l'Imposteur, Alter Infidelity a Euro Julio, Lamar Copyright to Morphose des Cloports a Euro Edmond, Le Facteur Sen Vartien Goer a Euro Thibon, Paris or Moe Doti a Euro Henri Plantin, Caroline Carr Copyright Ray a Euro Postillon, Candy a Euro Hunchback Juggler, Le Temps des Loupsa, Fr, a Euro Inspector, The Adventurers a Euro Marcel Campion, Lama a Euro Lepra Copyright Sentacha, The Games a Euro Pavel Vendg, The Selfish Giant. A Euro Narrator Union Beau Monster a Euro Inspector Leroy, Le Part des Liencer, Fr, a Euro a Permel Rick Chambon, Les Interests a Euro Charles Bernard, The Blockhouse a Euro Visconti, and then there were none a Euro Michel Raven, Sky Riders a Euro ANSP. Nico Elidis, Folies Bourgeoises a Euro Dr. Latique di Blectromel a Euro Sigismund Marcus, Ciao, Les Mex a Euro Lamna Copyright Sick, The Magic Mountain a Euro NAPHTA, Curist Seki Fetcourt David. A Euro La Copyright On, Le Paris de David, Les Phantomes du Chapelier a Euro Catch Houders, Une Jeunesse a Euro Bellon, Viva la Vie. A Euro a Permil de Aznaurian, Yiddish Connection a Euro Aaron Rappaport, Mangiclus a Euro Jar Copyright Ra Copyright Mai, Il Maestro a Euro Ramiraldi, Le Chianoy a Euro Charles Cottrell, Charles Aznavour Armenia 1989, Leanna Copywriters Campaign a Euro Le Grand Paris Grandfather, Ponditch a Copyright Y, Dernier Comptoir Dains a Euro La Copyright O'Borman, Le Coma Copyright Dean a Euro Monsieur Maillard, Laguna, Truth About Charlie a Euro Himself, Ararat a Euro Edward Saroyan, Le Paris Goriot a Euro Jean Joachim Goriot, Ennemes Publics, The Colonel a Euro Paris Rossi. Up a Euro Carl Fredriksson, Documentary Films, Charles Aznavour a Euro Armenia 1989 a Euro about the humanitarian aid that Aznavour brought to his native Armenia after the 1988 Armenian earthquake. Christmas in Vienna 3 a Euro a Christmas gala concert with Aznavour, Placido Domingo and Cecil Kikjaba, featuring the Vienna Symphony conducted by Croatian conductor Vjekoslav Angstrom Utaj. Making of Kolomava a Euro a featurette accompanying the release of Aznavour's studio album Kolomava. Filmed in Havana and Paris, it shows his collaboration with Chucho Valdez. The Muppet Show a Euro guest appearance. See also, Charles Aznavour Museum, list of best-selling music artists, Armenia Euro-France relations, Ils sont tombés copyright S, references, notes. Citations. External links, official site, Charles Aznavour on a Music Portrait DSE Charles Aznavour. Embassy of the Republic of Armenia in Switzerland. Retrieved February 21, 2010. Charles Aznavour at the Internet Movie Database, Charles Aznavour at the Songwriters Hall of Fame, biography by Radio France International, Charles Aznavour a Euro-Armenian Russian pages, live performances. Charles Aznavour a Euro Ave Maria performance on YouTube, Charles Aznavour a Euro Higher Uncle performance on YouTube, Charles Aznavour a Euro Paris or Moe Doti performance on YouTube.